Hello everybody, Kelly Rice here, but I write under my pen name, K.M. Rice. And today, I'm going to talk to you about a very serious issue. Lying. See, I got this question from J.M. Sawyer, if that's their name. Who knows? They say, Kelly, spelled wrong. My name's spelled I-E, they spelled it with a Y, happens all the time. But given the tone of all this, I'm wondering if this individual's trying to throw me off. Kelly, with a Y. And by the way, whenever that happens, it gives me mental license to feel like that's addressed to someone else, that's about someone else, I don't have to deal with it. So a lot of times when people are like, Kelly, blah, 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 and they give me a complaint, I'm like, man, whoever that bitch is in trouble. Anyway. I usually don't use the B word. Only in comedy. And with my gay friends. Other than that, I kind of have an issue with it, so I'm surprised it just came out of my mouth, but it can be funny sometimes. So, J.M. Sawyer, Kelly, I'm a pathological liar. I have hankering to take up writing more seriously. As a pro-level liar by an apparent genetic design, could I be a good writer? Well, J.M., again, if that's even your name. Yes. Yes, you could. You could be an excellent writer. Because we're all liars in some way. And us writers, we lie all the damn time. The trick is to keep it on the page. But I catch myself sometimes, in fact, I need to title this episode The Dangers of Being a Liar, or something like that, because when you are a storyteller by nature, it's hard sometimes to not embellish details a little bit. So, you could be going along telling someone a story like, hey, I'm wearing my favorite pink tank top right now, and I got it on this great trip to San Diego with two of my girlfriends, and we were there for their bachelorette party. Is that true or not? I'll reveal it later. But I didn't mean for this to start off as a test, but I guess it just became a test. But it's hard not to, sometimes, like, I'll be telling a story, and I really hate lying, even if it's a white lie. I always try to find a way, like, if someone's like, what do you like about this outfit, or this person, or this whatever, I'll be able to find something that I like about it, but it has to be a truthful thing, or at least it has to be grounded in truth. Like, there was, for example, one time, like, this guy just wouldn't get a hint, and he kept asking me out, and so finally I told him I'm seeing someone. I was single, but literally, as I was writing it, my sister was, like, standing in my doorway, and I'm like, I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you. This isn't a lie. I am seeing them. So, you know, I do things like that, and I find a way to justify it to myself, and we all do those little things. I still don't like to do them, but we do them. And when you're a storyteller, sometimes you're telling a story about something that happened and someone asks you a question, and there have been a few scary moments in my life where I answer that question with a lie. And people are like, were you scared or whatever? No! Because I just came up with a funny zinger I can say back. And then afterwards I go, I was scared that was a lie. I told that person a lie, but they're someone who, like, I just talked to at the grocery store and I'll probably never see them again and none of it really matters, but I still feel weird. So that kind of thing can happen. You're opening neurons and you're training pathways to tell things, I won't say things that are untrue, but to be very creative, and that can creep into your daily life. I imagine that this is a big issue for some writers, and I would love to hear from other writers who have this as something that they struggle with, because for me it's only a few little slip-ups, a few little blips in my time. But I know that it's got to be a problem for some people, maybe people who write nonfiction. maybe that's even more of an issue. And then this gets me all deep and philosophical, and I'm like, what is the truth anyway? And that's why I didn't want to say that, like, we're all liars if we're storytellers, because why is that a lie? Why is telling a fictional story a lie? How do you know it's not true? How do you know it didn't happen somewhere? So there's some great Ian McKellen quote about Lord of the Rings and about how Middle Earth is a real place and it all took place somewhere in our hearts. You know, there's a lot to be said about the power. Again, this is getting really deep. All this person wanted to know is if you're a pathological liar, if that would make you a good storyteller. Again, short answer is yes, but if you believe something, it makes it true. You could apply that to politics, to religion, to storytelling. I have thought for years now that the act of belief is an act of creation. Take a suicide bomber. This is getting really weird, but take a suicide bomber, for example. That suicide bomber is often acting because they believe that what they're doing is justified, and a lot of them have religious values that tell them that they're going to get rewards for what they've done. You have someone so extreme, someone who believes so fervently that this is true, that they will kill themselves and murder innocent people along with them in this act. As abhorrent as it may be, you cannot argue that that person's reality, that that person's interpretation of their religion, of their situation, of whatever their motivation was real to them. You'll never be able to prove definitively if a God exists, what God exists. Maybe we won't even ever know if Bigfoot's real, okay? But it doesn't change the fact that the act of believing in these things makes it real because there were real consequences. If I'm not explaining this well enough, I think a bit like sometimes we have miscommunications with our loved ones or with our partners. And there have been plenty of times in my life when I've stepped on someone's toes, and that completely wasn't my intention. And something I've said, especially if you're doing something like if you're online or if you're texting, because the words have no tone, and someone can completely misinterpret what you've said, and you think, wait, whoa, how did you, oh, that's what you thought I meant? Oh, no, I didn't. But, so some people, and I'm a fairly prideful person, but a much more prideful person, or when I'm feeling very prideful, I'd say, well, don't have to apologize because I didn't actually do anything wrong. It was your interpretation. Well, I'm at a point in my life where it's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the intent was. If the result was that someone genuinely got upset or got feelings hurt or whatever, you could apologize. And I don't want to get into psychology. That is a fine line as well. But despite the intent, the result was the same, and that made it real. The perceived miscommunication or whatever. I wish I had a concrete example of this, but I don't, so it's sounding weird. Just the point is that it became real, whether you meant it to be real or not, because of that other person's reaction. And so, I mean, this is how I think of religion, this is how I think of Santa Claus, this is how I think of all these things, is that you can never prove if it's real or if it isn't real, but that's beyond the point, because the act of belief is the act of creation making it real. Still don't know if I'm leading you guys on this path with me or not. But that's the same way I view storytelling. How do we know that the events of Darkling aren't real? And when it comes to like my other books, like the Afterworld series, I think I've talked about it briefly before, how I felt like the characters were all real people that I'd met, and for some reason I was the one who was chosen to meet them and tell their story. A lot of artists and creative people feel this way about all their different mediums. And so who's to say that after the act of creation, this is a more intense act of creation. Look, there's an actual object here. So who's to say that by writing this book, I did not make it real? If this is full of ideas that exist between these pages, and now those ideas have been transferred from my imagination to yours, that just reinforced them, because now they don't exist only in one person, but in however many hundreds of people who have read this book. And you're saying, these are just ideas, it's airy-fairy, it's fluffy, you can't even look at it. And I go to Plato, and I say, what are the only true things in the world? They're ideas. Because you can't destroy an idea. You can't destroy a feeling. So the only true, unchangeable things in the world are ideals like freedom and love and justice. Maybe, just maybe, stories. Yeah, this got deep and philosophical very quickly with a very light-hearted question. But it's all my counter-argument to, if these are all lies. And I've been thinking about this a little bit because my friend had her 5-year-old over recently, and I had a gift to give to the 5-year-old's other parent, and I'd written on it that it was from Hogwarts as a joke. And the child said, but that's a trick. And I said, no, they'll understand that it's a game. They'll understand that it's from me. And he was like, but isn't it a lie? And me and his mom were like, well, no, it's just for fun. But it makes you pause and reflect on just how many things in life and how many things we do are actually lies. No matter the intent, and no matter if it is a game. But then I eat my own words and I go back to what I just tried to explain of, are there really any lies then? Because who's to say this isn't a truth now? Obviously, the package didn't really come from Hogwarts, but if Hogwarts is only a place that exists in the collective imaginations of all of J.K. Rowling's readers and fans, and this person receiving the package is also a fan, then who's to say it didn't really come from Hogwarts? Because Hogwarts doesn't actually exist in the physical realm, it only exists in the metaphysical. I don't know, guys. Y'all, you're gonna have to, you can't write back to me in the comments about this because it's gonna take up so much space. You've got to film video responses to this if you want to talk about this. You know, if you want to, shoot back at me or I'm not shoot, I don't want to get shot, but, if you want to, talk, I'll hear your ideas and everything, But you can film a video of you talking. Just because it would be, comment wars. And I really hate comment wars. So, this is very kind of tangential to your question, but oh, now I've lost the frickin' comment. Maybe it was never there to begin with. Maybe it was all a lie. Maybe I lied about that person making a comment. Just never know. And we talked about this a bit in my grad school, because we were having our first reading and we were going to read our student stories at Borders. No, it was Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble's still around. And we were excited, and we were like, what do we call our reading? And we had been having this playful talk over the semester about how we are all liars. And so we called it 15 Liars in San Jose. And that was the catchy title of our reading, and a lot of people came. It wasn't all just people that we knew, which is always a feat when you're doing a reading. And I don't know. I suppose that was quite a while ago now, and been churning these thoughts ever since. Am I a liar? I don't know. I'll leave that in your capable hands to determine if I am a liar or not. You can give me your philosophical response. Do you remember the story I told you at the beginning of this vlog? About this being my favorite pink tank top bought in San Diego at a bachelorette party? I'll let you reply and give me your assessment once I stand up. How do you know Steve in Blue's Clues isn't naked from the waist down? What's a lie? What's real? What did you just see? I can't even answer that. You're gonna have to answer it. And I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna end it now. Because this got deep fast. You guys need time to think. You might even have to watch this episode twice. So for me... Dang it! I usually plan this out ahead of time. Alright. For me, and a stuffed gorilla that I tried to get all nice to give to my friend's kid by putting in the dryer and instead ended up with melted, scratchy fur I feel horrible about. Every time I see a gorilla now, I'm sad. Don't often see gorillas, shockingly. But, you know, sometimes they're in ads and stuff. I love gorillas, by the way. Now I just feel bad. So for me and the scratchy gorilla named Baby Rumbles, we hope that you have a good day. Or do we? Maybe this is all just a lie. Maybe I'm crazy. You can leave your assessment in the comments. Might make you reflect on yourself. But then as you're writing that you're a fucking liar because you were in a bra, maybe you should pause and think, was she really? What is a bra? What's the difference between a bra and a swimsuit top? Or a crop top? And is a crop top a tank top? Now we're getting into some Moby Dick stuff. The chapter on Cetology. You get so many extra points if you know what I'm talking about. You better identify yourself in the comments, because, like, I'll, like, use keys on the keyboard to draw you a picture, because you get an award if you know what I'm talking about when I talk about the Cetology chapter of Moby Dick. And I'm going to leave it at that, because this is getting weirder than usual. Alright? So, keep the questions coming, kids. Keep the lies flowing, and the truths flowing, because everything's a circle, and it doesn't matter what end you're at, gonna connect. Then everything is actually nothing. Again, Cetology. Okay. Catch you on the flip side, kiddos.